Hello, my name is Jacque Honest Johnson. Before I start my speech, I'm going to introduce my live audience.
I'm Sharita.
I'm Zykeria.
I'm Calissa.
I'm Nanette.
Okay. We've all heard the endless speeches from parents, teachers, pastors, and other mentors in our lives about how you'll never get anywhere procrastinating. But I, on the other hand, am a firm believer that diamonds are made from pressure, and as a lifelong procrastinator who's made honor roll most of her life, I simply have to disagree with that. If my experiences hold any merit, I've known myself to do my best work at the last minute when I'm feeling suddenly inspired and in the mood to actually work. Because you see, sometimes it isn't that I don't want to do the work, but that the ideas aren't flowing the way I want them to. But when the light bulb finally comes on, then it's all up from there, as opposed to when I force myself to push out a project and end up feeling like I could have done better. And that's why I feel that procrastination can be a good thing, at least sometimes. Now, to clarify the point that I'm making, it's necessary to define a few terms. There is active and passive procrastination. Passive procrastination is defined as a self-destructive process in which self-doubt, anxiety, and distress accompany the non-accomplishment of tasks, and it also causes you to miss deadlines. Active procrastination is defined as a procrastination where you're still good with time management and you just work better under pressure and you're still able to accomplish your tasks. The first benefit of procrastination is that unnecessary tasks disappear with active procrastination. If you're procrastinating with something on a consistent basis, it could be sometimes that your mind feels that there's a better use of your time, and maybe that the task that you're trying to work on at the moment isn't what you should be focusing at this very moment. And coming to this realization is important when it comes to prioritizing your to-do list. This gives you a chance to reevaluate everything that you need to do, and it could be that the thing that you're trying to focus on is no longer relevant to you. 2. Active procrastinators get more things done. Sure, at first, you might not necessarily be focusing on what it is that you need to do, but more often than not, active procrastinators spend their time getting the rest of their to-do list done. Now, on the other hand, if you tend to passively procrastinate and you spend all of your time on the couch watching Netflix, then that's a problem. But it's not necessarily a bad thing if you're an active procrastinator. 3. Procrastination shows you what you are passionate about. As previously stated, you're less likely to procrastinate on things that you are actually passionate about. So once you take a step back and realize the things that you have a tendency to complete versus the things that you have a tendency to procrastinate on, then you will be more likely to really be able to focus on the things that you want to do, and you'll know what you really care about instead of dedicating all of your time to things that you don't really want to do. And even though it might lead to some missed deadlines at first, you will ultimately end up saving more time than you lost, if that is the case. Point number 4. Well, procrastination can help with creativity. Well, as I was saying earlier, a lot of times you will procrastinate because the ideas aren't flowing the way that you need them to. And sometimes all you need to get to a better mental space to do what you need to do is to take a little time or to focus on something else. And this ultimately will help you to reach the ideas that will help you do the best on whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. 5. Procrastination can help you make better decisions. A lot of times, people delay themselves with making decisions because not necessarily that they don't want to make a decision, not necessarily because they don't want to make a decision, but because they're not necessarily sure what to do. And rather than throwing themselves into a situation they're not sure of, they'll just delay and not do anything at all. This can actually be an upside in the end, because by the time you come around to a decision, it will be well thought out. You've actually gone over the pros and cons, and you can actually make a well thought out conclusion. And yeah. Whoa. Okay. While people will argue that procrastination is always a bad thing and you're ultimately missing opportunities and wasting your life, as I said, if you're an active procrastinator and you're using the spare time to get other things done, and it's leading you to be more creative, or it's leading you to be more thought out about the things that you do, or leading you to find your true passions, it can actually be a good thing in the end. In conclusion, procrastination can actually lead you to better places than if you were to just throw yourself into something. So next time someone reprimands you about procrastinating, evaluate whether you're showing signs of active or passive procrastination rather than getting down on yourself for procrastinating. Well, that's the end of my speech. Thank you.